beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to bring you back to a replay of a live class I did where we really work on our core and strengthening our center muscles and our power and really igniting the fire within us. So dive in with me. It's great to have 2 blocks with you for this class, and I'm so excited to bring you along in the replay of this live class. Let's get started then let's start out in child's pose. So go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the mat and big toes together. And I always like to offer a variation in child's pose. If this doesn't feel good, you can bring your knees in together and just sit back on your hips instead of your knees wide apart. And this is helpful if you have any hip issues. And then if child's pose ever feels like you can't quite get to the ground with your forehead, bring in a block and rest your head on the block. And this will just help bring the ground up to you and just really help you dive into the length of the spine instead of feeling like you're struggling to reach the ground. So let's just go ahead and start here. Just landing in this moment. Just doing a little check-in with your breath. Just noticing where it is. And then bringing some intentionality to your breath. And seeing if you can expand through all sides of your ribs, front and back and side to side. And really feel your belly expand on the top of your thighs. And with every inhale, filling up a little bit further, and exhale, seeing if you can just stretch the arms just a little bit longer out in front of you. And maybe just start with a little rock in the head, just side to side, just massaging that third eye. Just coaxing the mind to find a little moment of stillness, a little moment of calm. As we tap into strengthening the body and listening to it as we flow and breathe. Beautiful. Let's take one collective breath in and long exhale out the mouth. Just sigh everything out, just leaving everything here as we come to be present with our bodies and our breath. And then begin to slide the hands right underneath the shoulder blades and come to stack the shoulders over the wrists. Do a little check-in for me here that your palms are pressing down into the ground and pressing into the fingertips. Upper arm bones are rotating out so you can see the inside of your elbows, that they're not in facing each other, but they're out facing towards the front of the mat, depending on your anatomy. And then just really checking in with the hands that you're not dumping a lot of the weight in the bottom of the wrists. And then from here, let's stay in our wide-kneed position and find our cat-cow here. So go ahead and pull that lower abdomen up and in, engaging that low belly button. And then from here, curl the tailbone up as you drop the chest down and forward, drawing your shoulder blades together. And then from here, tuck the tailbone under, lower abdomen stays engaged, curve the spine all the way up into your cat. And then inhale, drop the belly. Keep that low abdomen engaged. Really bringing warmth to our center And it's these micro movements in the spine as we then move back into cat on an exhale that begin to bring the warmth and the awareness radiating out from the center of our core and this power place in our body. And then just letting your breath guide you as you let the movement begin in your tailbone, finding your own rhythm of cat and cow. Inhaling to drop the belly and shine the heart forward. And exhale, curving through the spine, feeling the shoulder blades pull away from each other as you tuck the chin to the chest. Take a few rounds here and feel free to go off the railroad tracks and just find any movement that feels good in your body, whether it's a sway in your hips or rock in your neck. And no matter where you take it, just keep this engagement in your low abdomen to protect the low back and maintain your power and your strength. Good, do one more round. And then meet me back in some stillness here. Finding a nice long spine. Bring the knees back underneath at the hip bones. And then we're going to extend the right leg long out behind us. I really like to start here, especially as we're moving into a flow that's going to really ignite our core. I like to start here in tabletop to really get this transverse abdominal engaged and fired on. So with your right foot kicked back, we're going to hover the toes up off the ground. And it's from here, I really want you to focus on your right inner thigh. It's from that place all the way lined straight up into the center of your core that you're going to feel your strength and your power. And if you're not quite feeling it, try dialing your right toes down so your hip is nice and flat. And it's okay if you don't quite feel that sensation yet. This took me about 4 years to discover in my own journey. But just an awareness to it can be a great place to begin. So just notice if you have any shake in the body as you hover here, really letting that inner thigh and that core be what's holding your leg up and feeling your glutes fire on a little bit here. And then exhale, lower that right leg down. Let's tuck our toes under, come off the wrists just for a second. Do a little zombie hands, slipping the hands down and up, just stretching through the wrists for a second. Rolling the shoulders back for a second. And then let's come back into our tabletop and go to the other side. So again, just checking in, shoulders stacked over wrist, upper arm bones rotating out, feeling pressure into your fingertips and not just the palm. Hips stacked over knees, and then we're going to slide the left toes out. And again, here already, feel this left inner thigh engagement. And then hover the toes up off the ground. Lifting up out of the shoulders here, but making sure that you're not lifting the left hip up. You want this low spine to stay nice and flat, and then gap engagement come that left inner thigh and those transverse abdominal muscles in that left side of your core here. Embrace this shake. Keep breathing here. Pull up out of the shoulder blades. And then lower the left leg down. Now let's go ahead and cross the ankles here and come through simple seated. And let's just take a quick twist to just move the energy and keep it flowing. So let's do right hand on left knee. Inhale, find length. Left hand goes behind you. And exhale, twisting of the low abdomen. Then the ribs and the shoulders, relaxing down. Really feeling the breath move through the rib cage. And with every exhale, see if you can deepen your twist, just a micro movement more. And it's really from here in this micro movements and this sludge work that all change and all growth really happens. And I love this truth because we feel like change and growth is this monumental thing. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's micro. And very often it's that. And inhale, find center. Left hand to right knee. Right hand behind the low back. Inhale, find length through the spine. And exhale, twist through the low abdomen, through the ribs, through the shoulders. And I love how this practice of yoga really just teaches us that the showing up every day, the micro movements, the small engagements, the presence in those moments is what really brings the change we all really desire to grow into. Whether it's peace in your own body or joy more in your life, or both. Good. Inhale, find length and come back to center on an exhale. And now let's go ahead and extend the legs out in front of us here. And then come to bring the knees in towards the chest, planting the feet on the ground. Finding a nice tall spine here, you can place the hands on the fronts of the shins or underneath the thighs to just find length through the spine here. Engage that lower abdomen, and if you have a block handy, this can be super helpful to make sure you're really using those transverse abdominal muscles versus the obliques. So I like to grab a block here. We're going to go into boat pose here and find a flow through boat pose. So with your block here, really begin to squeeze the inner thighs in, and with that, you're going to notice your abdomen's already firing on. Draw the shoulder blades up and back, feeling this engagement in the low back and through the back muscles to really support the upper body. And then you can play with lifting one heel up off the ground, pointing through the toe, and then the other. And then you can take it one step further and see if you can lift one toe up off the ground, creating a parallel line with the shin. And then play with the other, coming into boat pose. If it's in your practice, you can release one hand and then the other. Continue your breath, long spine here. And exhale, lower the toes gently back down to the ground. Remove your block. We're going to crisscross our legs through simple seated and come through tabletop. And then we'll extend the right leg out long behind us and hover the right leg back. And then plant the foot like you're stomping it on the ceiling, and then we're going to just do baby pulses here. Really keeping that right inner thigh engagement, turning those abdomens on. And just baby pulses up and down like you're stamping your foot on the ceiling. Find your breath. And then from here, we're going to rotate the knee out, opening through and creating a circle with the knee. The leg is still bent. Really engaging through the core here. You're going to feel this in your glutes, in your abdomen, pulling up out of the shoulders if you begin to sink like I just did. And then rotate your sacral another way. Beautiful. Extend the right leg out long behind you, and then lower the right toes down. Then right where your leg is here, you're going to drop your right knee down. So your knees are going to be on two different planes here. And then just go ahead and slide your left knee down so we're in supported plank here. And just holding plank here just for a second, really supported plank. And you can curl your toes back under and take full plank if that's in your practice today. Just know we're still warming up our bodies here. In supported plank, really feeling that inner thigh engagement. You can grab your block, slip it between your thighs. And again, making sure that your engagement is really in these deep abdominal muscles. Take a breath here. And then exhale, let's sit back to just a quick child's pose. Taking a breath, inhaling through the nose, in a long exhale, out. Beautiful. Go roll back up to tabletop. We're going to come through downward facing dog, curl the toes back under, and walk the feet into a forward fold. Take your time, bend your knees. And then just find ragdoll here for a minute by clasping the elbows and just swaying side to side. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Go ahead and plant the hands right by the feet, and we're just going to come to sit And then squat back down. Not the most graceful flow here, and we're back into preparing for our boat pose. Grab your block if you misplaced it, and see if you try, if you hadn't already, with a block between your thighs and your boat pose. Rock on the tailbone here so your low abdomen is already starting to engage as you start to lean back, placing the hands underneath the thighs, lifting one heel up as you open up through the chest, lifting the other heel up, and then you can play with lifting toes up off the ground, making them parallel with the ground in front of you. And you can play here with one hand out or the other, seeing if you can find your balance and really engaging this inner thigh muscles. So you're engaging the proper muscles here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful. Release the toes back down to the ground. And remove your block. Cross your ankles. Come back into your tabletop. This time, let's slide the left toes out long and hover them off the ground. Upper arm bones rotating out, pulling up out of the shoulders. Low abdomen engaged, inner thigh, left inner thigh. And then bending at the knees, stomping the left foot up on the ground. 80 pulses here. As you put your footprint on the ceiling, your imaginary footprint. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Checking in the shoulders. You're not dumping your weight into the shoulders. And then start your circle opening up through the hip. Letting these deep core muscles really be the engagement here. You also use your glutes, but not letting it overpower. And then finding another circle the opposite way. Keep breathing. Good. And then extend the left toes long behind you on the ground. Drop the left knee down and then slide the right knee back to meet the left, coming into the supported plank. Beautiful. You can find full plank if you'd like. You can also grab your block again to go in between the thighs. And let's all lower down onto our bellies here. You can keep the block there, move it if you'd like. Lower down, placing the hands right underneath the shoulders here, and then lifting up through the center of the spine, coming into a baby cobra. Pressing the hip bones down, finding length through the spine. We're not crunching a low back. And then exhale, lower the head down to the ground. Good. Inhale, let's lift up all the way to cobra. Stretching through the low abdomen here. Pressing to the hips, big toes. And exhale, lower. Beautiful. Tuck the toes. Push up through plank or supported plank. And then exhale, let's find a child's pose. Beautiful. Let's pair that all now together in a more fluid flow here. So go ahead and come back up. Tuck the toes under, come into downward facing dog. Exhale, slowly walk the feet in towards the hands. Generous bend at the knees, belly to tops of thighs. Grab your elbows if you want to take a rag doll, just to lengthen through the shoulders. And then release the hands down to the ground. This time, let's come into a balance pose here on our toes. Just for a quick second, you can grab your blocks to give you a little support. Or you can find your hands at heart center as you aim for the tops of the thighs to go parallel towards the ground and you're on your tiptoes. And whether you're using the blocks or your hands, just trying to find your balance, really using that inner thigh engagement that we've been working on to be the support in the center of your body here. Then if you'd like, you can cross the last 3 fingers over each other, coming to steeple grip, and play here with letting your tailbones stick out and find the ground without touching your hands down. Beautiful. And it's okay if you plop down and find the ground in whatever way feels good today too. And let's find boat pose again here. Open up through the shoulder blade, rocking in the low tailbone to engage the low abdomen. Lifting one heel up, then the other. And then playing with lifting the foot up off the ground, and then the other. And if you like to play maybe for the first time, you can play with one hand letting go, maybe the other. If you want to take it a step further, you can extend one leg and the other. Or you can come back to just supporting the low, holding the under the thighs. Beautiful. Go ahead and exhale, release, cross at the ankles, and lean forward into your tabletop. Sliding the right toes back, lifting the right toes up off the ground, stamping the right foot up on the ceiling for just 3 baby pulses, and rotating into our hip opening circles. And then the other way. And exhale, extend the right leg back out long behind you. And you can come into full plank here if you'd like, or supported plank, dropping that right knee down, sliding the left one to meet the other. Yogi's choice. Exhale, option to go into chaturanga, upward facing dog, or lower to the belly and find cobra. Inhale, lifting the heart up, pressing into the tops of thighs, and exhale, lower. Inhale, find your plank, supported plank, and roll back up to downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward, baby steps here. Exhale, find ragdoll. Just taking a moment here to come back to your breath if you had misplaced it or forgotten about it. Beautiful. Let's come back into our toe balance again, planting the palms down and coming to balance on the toes. Again, you can grab your blocks to either side of your body to support you here. Or you can play with your hands at heart center. And then from here, you can find steeple grip and letting your hips find the ground, either with your hands on the blocks or your hands in steeple grip. Just gently popping down, having a little fun. Beautiful. We can come back into boat pose, or if you'd like to take lotus, you can. So to take this next pose, you can wrap your right hand on your inner thigh, and then we're going to grab, or not grab, but placing like a plate on your right hand, holding the right thigh up. So just taking the support into boat pose with the upper body, and then the hands and feet can splay out. Or you can take traditional boat too. Yogi's choice. And then the toes come together here and hands can point your fingers to thumb to come into a mudra. Deep breath here. Beautiful. And exhale, remove the hands from the inner thighs and lower the legs down. And cross at the ankles. Rock forward to tabletop. Now sliding the left toes back this time, hovering the left toes up off the ground. Stamping the left toes up on the ceiling, baby pulses, just 3, 2, 1, and moving into our circles one way. Really engaging that inner thigh muscle, not letting the glutes take over as you get tired. Beautiful. Rotate the other way now. Beautiful. Extend the left leg out long and lower the left knee down, or slide the right foot back to meet in plank or supported plank, yogi's choice. And then exhale, lower down to chaturanga, an upward facing dog, or belly into cobra. Inhale to lift up, pushing into the hip bones to protect the low back. And exhale to lower. Inhale, push back up to plank or supported plank. And exhale through downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's take a moment's breath here in downward facing dog. Let's take a little lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, sticking the tongue out. Gaze comes up towards the third eye. So inhale all together. Exhale, tongue out, lion's breath. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tongue out, eyes up. Beautiful. Gently walk to your forward folds. Find a juicy release. You can file your ragdoll again if you'd like. Swaying side to side. And then exhale, release a little bit deeper, belly to tops of thighs. And then inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Coming into a quiet mountain, into a restorative mountain. Sweeping the arms up high over the head. And exhale, hands through heart center. Just taking a quick moment to do a little scan through the body. Maybe wiggling the toes up. Checking the weights distributed through the feet. Inner thighs drawing up, low abdomen still engaged here. Tailbone is nice and soft. Ribs are knit together, shoulders are drawn back together, and ears over the shoulders. Beautiful. Let's find our steeple grip here if you hadn't already before. So the last three fingers just intertwine and the pointer finger and thumb stay long. Inhale, slide the hands up through the center of the body towards the sky. And exhale, we're going to go up and over to the right side of the body. Stretching through the left side of our body here. Good. And then exhale brings you back to center, keeping the hands gripped as they are, and exhale over to the left side of the body. Take long, juicy breaths here. Inhale brings you back up through center, and then exhale, lower the hands down towards the side. We're going to take standing camel here just for a second. So if you have any low back issues, you're really going to want to work with placing your hands in a pocket. I really love to actually do this up against a wall. I'm not situated to really show you that, but if you ever want to workshop your own camel pose, I love to get the hips up against the wall, and that can really help you find the right positioning in the body. But for now, since we're just working on this standing here, let's place the palms right on the low back on the sacrum here. Shoulder blades drawing together, really opening up through the chest here. And with this motion, using the pressure of the hands on the low back, we're going to aim the hip bones forward, really trying to find a nice flat line through the hip bones and the upper abdomen. Using that core engagement we've been working on, pulling up through the inner thighs here. And that means what starts the movement as we lift up and back. And just be gentle here. It doesn't have to be a grand posture. Just this little bit of opening through the abdomen to really just open the spaces that we were contracting a lot. Gaze can come up towards the sky if you like. Good, and exhale, slowly coming back up and then releasing the hands down. Let's find heaven's on knocking on heaven's door. So just swaying the arms side to side, giving yourself a little booty pat. Generous bend of the knees. Just shaking out all the engagement we had here. Beautiful. Come to stillness, and let's come to the front of our mat. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, let's take 2 rounds of sun salutation, stepping the toes back, coming into plank, a supported plank, lowering down to the belly. Inhale, find your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, up through plank or supported plank into your downward facing dog. And then exhale, walk the feet forward into our forward folds. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. As you come up to stack the spine in your mountain, exhale, hands through heart center. Then inhale, sweep the arms up high and diving down into your forward folds. Inhale, find a nice flat back. Exhale, slide the hands down to your forward fold, planting the palms right by the feet. Step back to your plank or supported plank. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, find your plank or supported plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now with this same engagement we did in tabletop, we're going to find this now in downward facing dog. So really feeling that right inner thigh engaged here, the transverse abdominals turning on, lifting the right leg up towards the sky. Bend at the knee, find baby pulses here again. And then opening up through the hip in bigger circles now are going to come in towards our nose as we come through plank. And then lifting up as you come through downward facing dog. So really feeling the full body engagement here. As you rotate, your knee comes in towards your chest as you come into a plank position, and exhale, opening up through the side as you rotate out. Go ahead and lower the right foot down, drop the knees down to the ground. Let's take a quick child's pose. Really feeling the hips opening up here in a new way to integrate this low abdomen, maybe a different way than it's been before, very familiar way. Go ahead and let's place the palms together as they're extended long in front of you, and then bring the palms up together and then above the head, coming into a shark fin. And then interlacing the fingers and just rotating the wrists here, just to give the wrists a little bit of nourishment, being on them so much today. Good. Exhale, release the palms back down to the ground. And let's push back up to our downward facing dog. On an exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Feeling that left inner thigh engagement here, pulling up out of the shoulders, upper arm bones rotating out. Exhale, bend at the knee and stamp the foot up on the ground. Few baby pulses here. And now exhale, draw the left knee in towards the nose as you come towards plank, and then rotate the left knee up and out as you come back into your downward facing dog. Again, knee to nose as you come towards plank, and then left leg out as you push back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. One more time, knee to nose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Lower the left leg down. Let's exhale, come through plank or supported plank. Lower to the belly. And then this time, let's slide the hands right in front of us, coming to rest on the forearms. And we'll take Sphinx pose here as the elbows go right underneath the shoulders. And then pulling the heart, like as someone has a string on your heart, you're going to pull the heart forward. Just stretch through the upper back body. Pulling your ears away from your shoulders. Pressing the hip bones into the ground. Good, and exhale, lower to the belly. And then let's press back up to our tabletop. Let's go ahead and cross the ankles, come through simple seated. And let's extend the legs out long in front of us. Beautiful. Micro bend in the knees. Inhale, find length through the spine as you reach the arms up high. And exhale, forward fold here. You can grab a block here if you have it and let your forehead rest here on it as you reach your belly to your tops of your thighs. Beautiful. Exhale as you come back up. Remove your block if it was there. And now we're going to roll to our back and grab the back of the thighs and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the knees up into the chest. Giving them a tight squeeze. And then we're going to extend the legs up towards the sky here. We're moving to another lower abdomen flow. And from here, we're going to lift the upper body up off the ground as you feel like someone's pulling a string on your heart space up towards the ceiling instead of towards your knees. So lifting the chest up, making sure you're not crunching through the neck here, and the hands are going to hover right above the hips here. And legs can have a generous bend in them as they're hovering here. And then from here, we're going to rock all the way up, coming into our prep for our boat pose. Beautiful. Exhale, lower all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Knees into chest. Inhale, straighten the legs long in front of you. Inner thigh engagement here. And if you really want to tap it and make sure you're using your muscles in a very supportive way, you can grab your block to put in your inner thighs through this whole flow. So legs extending out long in front of you. Inhale. Exhale, lift the upper body up off the ground. Make sure you're not crunching through the neck. Low abdomen engaged, inner thigh engaged. And then exhale, rocking forward. Inhale this time, sweep the arms up high as you plant the feet. And exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time with the hands extending out in front of you. Low abdomen engaged here. Beautiful. And then knees back in towards the chest. Inhale, straighten the legs out long. Exhale, lift the upper body up. Good. Inhale, rock forward. And exhale, straighten the arms in front of you. Inhale, find a little bit of length, and exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time as you bring the knees back in towards the chest. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten through the legs. Exhale, lift the chest up off the ground. Good. Inhale here, and exhale, rock forward. Inhale, find a nice long spine. Beautiful. Exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Knees in towards your chest. Let's add on to this here. Inhale, legs extended out long. Exhale, lift the upper body up. And let's find a few pulses as you lift the shoulders up off the ground, just a smidgen more. Make sure you're not crunching through the neck. Everything's relaxed. One more crunch. And then exhale, sweeping the arms up. And inhale, finding your length. And exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. Doing awesome. We'll do one more round. Good. Inhale, extend the legs out long. Exhale, the shoulders up off the ground. Let's add our little pulsing in. Keep your breath going. Good. And exhale, rock forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. And this time, let's see if we want to just take a quick boat pose, and that can just be the heels up off the ground or lifting them parallel with the ground. And then if you want to play a little bit here, you can try with your hands out, and then from here, lowering all the way to the ground. And this time, let's make a giant starfish on the ground. That's taking up lots of space. Beautiful. Awesome work. Your abs are going to love you later. You're going to feel so strong. Gorgeous. Let's grab the knees into the chest. You can rock and roll up or come to your left side and make yourself meet me back in simple seated. Whatever feels better on your body. And then we're going to rock forward into our tabletop and curl the toes under to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose as you step the right foot forward. Give the right foot a little help if it needs it. And then let's lower the left knee back and down. Back toes can be curled or uncurled, it's up to you. And then let's stack the spine as we lift the upper body up. Lifting up out of the hips here just for a second in our supported lunge. Just finding a nice long spine, making sure that low abdomen's engaged. These inner thigh muscles are still engaged here. And then from here, then now lower down into your supported lunge with that engagement really honed in. Beautiful. Let's plant the left palm down and sweep the right arm up high, coming into a twist. And if you'd like, you can stay here or rainbow the right arm back and around to the back foot. And then you can lift the toes, left toes up off the ground and catch that left foot if you'd like to come into a deeper stretch here. Really opening up through the shoulders here, whether your hands back or up towards the sky. Taking a long, deep breath. Beautiful. Exhale, slowly release that left foot if it was caught. Sweep the arm back up towards the sky, and then exhale, plant the hands on the inside of the right knee. Go ahead and bring the hips to stack over the left knee and extend out through the right leg. And then bring the toes up towards the nose. And you can find a generous V in that right leg as we come into a runner's lunge. Wiggling the toes here, I found actually gives a little bit of a different stretch into the calf muscles. And exhale, now roll through the feet. Frame the right foot as you sweep it back, come to your tabletop. Tuck your toes under, come to your downward facing dog. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, sweep the left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose, bring the left foot up between the hands. Toe wiggles welcome. Lowering the right knee down, toes tucked or untucked, yogi's choice. And then coming to stack the spine up. Again, come up out of your supported lunge just for a quick second. Check on your inner thigh engagement, your low abdomen, spine nice and long. And then exhale, lower into your stretch, into your supported lunge. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Exhale, plant the right palm on the ground now, and then let's lift the left hand up to open through the left side of the body. Beautiful. You can keep here for a moment, just really opening it through the heart space, working on this generous stretch through our right hip flexor. Or you can sweep the left hand back down behind you and bring the right foot up to meet the left hand. Yogi's choice. Really opening up through the heart space here in the shoulders. Deep belly breaths. And then exhale, slowly release the foot if it was back and sweep the left arm up and back to the sky. And then exhale all the way back around to the inside of the left foot. From here, rock the hips back so the right hip is stacked over the right knee. Left leg begins to extend and micro or macro large bends are welcome in the left knee. And then moving the left hand to frame the outer edge, the left foot, and you can flex the toes up towards the sky. Give the toes a little wiggly dance, feeling that extra little stretch in the calf. Deep breaths here. Good. Exhale, roll through the toes, frame the foot, step back to our tabletop. And this time, walk the hands out in front of us a little bit. We're going to take dolphin here. So walking the hands out in front of you, and then dropping the forearms down to the ground, and maybe continuing to walk the forearms out as you drop the head towards the ground. So the difference between dolphin and child's pose is your hips are staying up towards the sky in dolphin. Again, you can bring a block underneath your head to bring the ground up to you. And really just opening up through the heart space here. And let's take a little shark fin hands if you'd like. It's really optional if you're feeling you need your hands planted. So if you want to take shark fin, plant the palms together and hover them above the head. And this just really opens up through the shoulder space and the heart space just a little bit more. And from here, you can clasp the fingers and give the wrists a little roll too. Just a little extra nourishment. Beautiful. Plant the palms back down if they aren't already. And then walking the fingertips back and letting your body just slide all the way back through child's pose. Just taking a moment here. And then inhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, really coming into a cat-like position. Knees just stretch their upper back body. Beautiful. And then let's take camel one more time, this time kneeling. So coming to really find a nice long spine and flatness right here at the hips as we place the hands on the low back and the sacrum, like they're going in your back pockets. Using the momentum to help the low spine stay nice and long. Inhale, open up through the chest, draw your shoulder blades together as you aim towards the hip bones, pointing towards the front of the mat as you begin your descent into your camel pose, coming up and out of the spine first, and then leaning back. Really stretching through the abdomen here. Deep breath. Gaze can come up to the sky, that feels good. If there's any pain, come out of it. Good, and then exhale brings you back to vertical. Let's go ahead and cross the ankles here. Come back through simple seated and make your way to your back, however feels good to get there. And rock and roll if that feels nice. And then from here, just draw the knees up into the chest, giving that low back just a counter movement through that beautiful camel opening. Just taking a breath here, hugging the knees into the chest. With some gratitude for your beautiful body. And then with your low abdomen engaged, drop your knees to the left side of your mat. Coming to supine twist, anchoring the right shoulder down, left hand goes on top of the right thigh, right arm extending out long to the right side of your mat, and gaze comes over your right shoulder, making sure both shoulders are the right shoulder is anchored down. If it is coming up, just untwist yourself a little bit, and you can even place a block underneath that left thigh to make this a really juicy, restful posture. Find your breath here, really breathe into the ribs. Beautiful. Using your left hand on your left thigh and your low abdomen engaged here, draw the knees back up in towards the chest, and we'll let them just go ahead and roll all the way to the right side, coming to supine twist on the other side. Gaze comes over your left shoulder. Right hand can rest on the top of the right thigh. Again, a block can come underneath your right thigh if you are finding your left shoulder pulling up. Come back into your slow oceanic breath. Beautiful. Using your right hand to clasp the right outer thigh, low abdomen engaged to bring the knees back up into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze here. Option to take happy baby or quick cow face on either side, or just stay in this nice squeeze, or a little knee rotation, your choice. Whatever's feeling good. Don't know either of those, you can just give your knees a squeeze. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and extend the legs out long, coming into our corpse pose. I always like to offer, if this does not feel good on your low back, you can grab a pillow or blanket to shimmy underneath your knees. And just letting the feet splay out to the side. The hands coming to rest by the side if that feels good. If you want, you can also place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Really seal your practice in gratitude for your body. Or just the palms open by the side, just really surrendering to the peace that comes after this beautiful movement. This beautiful intentionality, and getting to build our strength and our power. Just taking a moment to really sink in and acknowledge all that your body does from you on a daily basis. The blood pumping through you and your heart's constant beats. The air flowing in and out of your lungs. This is all a gift. Having the use of all our appendages, the senses we have available to us, the expressions that start first in the body. And then just taking the next 5 minutes to come to a moment of stillness. Maybe escaping to someplace beautiful you've been, or someplace magical you've always wanted to go to. Just imagining what it'd be like as you come into a moment of stillness. How would it feel on your toes? How would the air feel on your arms? Would you be tasting anything in your mouth? Would there be anything wrapped around your skin? What magical colors would you see before you? What shapes? There be any sounds? Just letting your mind go to this beautiful place and resting there for a few moments of silence. Whenever you feel ready, I'm going to roll to your right side, creating a little cradle with your right bicep. And using your left hand to push you up, coming into simple seated. Take your time, there's no rush. And then let's all sweep our hands up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this practice was really helpful to you, please leave a comment below. Let me know how you're doing. And share this with a family friend who might need this, or bring someone else to do this practice with you. If you'd like to join my membership where you get access to more classes like this, including other meditations as well, you can join my program, and details are down below in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.